Watch this. No way!
Hello and welcome back to the Cookie Jar Golf Podcast. I am Tom Mills and today I'm joined by Cal Wing
Hello.
and Sam Williams.
Hello.
No Bruce today. Bruce is out for law exams and getting ready to actually get a real job, so we won't be joined by him today. As always, you can get in touch with us on @CookieJarGolf on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and the new YouTube channel, which we're very proud of. We've had a little 2-week hiatus that we've just consolidated our knowledge, tried to get some stuff going on tour that we can actually talk about, because we've got a bit of a dry week the week before, but we're back now ready for the PGA, the big one.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I think it was nice to see WGC event on last weekend. I think we'll get into that and chat about it. I thought it was pretty sweet. And PGA, it's looking all right, to be fair. Yeah, it's exciting times.
I think so. There's been a few pullouts, hasn't there? But should be entertaining nonetheless.
Definitely.
It was quite interesting that Sam famously quoted what a difference a year makes, and the Brooks Koepka had no chance of winning the PGA. I mean, looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I might sort of walk back that statement a little bit, because he did look pretty dangerous, didn't he? I don't know how much of the WGC you boys watched, but
he bounced back quite well from the weeks before, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everyone was watching a different tournament to me, but how JT got it done yesterday, he hit the ball like it was all over the shop on those last 6 holes. I think he shot 65 to win in the end, and I mean, everything seemed like it was going almost at right angles, which, I mean, shows you the quality of the guy, the fact that he put a score together despite all that. But
he also had a bit of a gem on the bag, didn't he? He had Bones.
Yeah, Bones was back.
Former
I think
caddy.
the same group as Phil Mick, wasn't it?
is there a little bit of magic there then, do you think? I think that's worth half a
like,
shot over the week?
Talk about I reckon that's worth a couple on the field on a final day. He's very, very calm, like a couple of, I'm sure, wise words in the ear, and it's just going to help him get the job done. I think so. I
think that's worth a shot or two?
I think that's worth a shot or two, definitely.
Well, he's got a lot of majors under his belt, hasn't he, Bones?
Yeah, he's won. I think he won 5 majors with Mickelson, and just a string of just standard wins anyway. But
do you think Bones gets vetoes with JT, or do you think that?
Well, so he stepped in for this week because he did a bit with Fitzpatrick a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? And because he's very much doing his, I think it's CBS commentary, on-course commentary does, and he stepped in, and I think JT's caddy. Anyway, he couldn't do this week, whether it was health related or not. I'm not sure, something along those lines. But yeah, that's it's a secret weapon, being able to bring someone like Bones on the back.
When you go into the subs bench for caddies and you just pull him out, then you're absolutely laughing, aren't you? He's obviously played great, and he won new world number 1 as well, so pretty short-lived for Rambo. But I mean, just looking back at that final 9, he was positioned in a bunker right on the back left. It was like 12 or 13, I can't remember exact hole. He was absolutely snookered. He could barely get the club back on the ball. He managed to gouge it into the face of it, made an incredible 5, really, from what could have been a complete disaster. I seem to remember he pulled like a 3-wood on that short par 4. And he knew when he hit that thing was dead. He ended up with like a 40-yard chip straight into the pin, dead easy birdie. And you thought, oh, he's just going to walk this home. And then even on 18, he made a meal of it, really. He went so far right off the tee on 18.
Well, the 18th was an interesting one, because I think when you play your local medal down at your local course, I mean, I'll speak from personal experience. Like, I'm shaking for 3 holes, and if I'm ever in contention, I'm shaking even more when it gets to the 18th. And JT, I was watching him as he sprayed it right with his approach on 18. He's got this sort of downhill chip towards the water, and the flag is next to the water. It's all going.
It was tight lie, wasn't it? It was such a tight lie.
And I was looking at it, I was going, that's just minging. Like, I would not. I know what I'd be like if I was in that situation. And it was just the nicest chip, just little fizzy little one chip. I think I'd go for the 5-wood or something that is even more forgiving than the putter. Just try and...
I don't know. I think the face would be too bouncy off a 5-wood or a hybrid or something. Even a putter's, you still got a lot of fringe to cover.
Yeah, I mean, I would just...
think
But
you just
he
gotta go for
pured it. He just nips it perfectly. It was some first-class short game. Bloody good win. But
it was good to see Brooks pushing down the line, though. I mean, when he stood on the 18th tee, there was one shot in it, wasn't there?
yeah, he just smothered it, didn't he? I think a little bit, which
the double cross.
there looked like a few sort of anti-Brooks. It was a double cross, wasn't it? Because he's a fader. You can definitely double cross it.
When you try and draw, but you fade it. Is that double cross as well?
No, that's not a double cross. That's
Is it only when you fade, you draw?
Fade, and you get over the top of it. But he, I mean, there was a few anti-Brooks moments. I think there's a bit of a couple of 3 jiggles throughout the week, wasn't there? And a bit of a necky chip into that par 5 16th and the drive down 18. But on the whole, it was solid. Like you were watching him hit like towering iron shots over the pins on every hole, and thought, how is this guy not going to win?
Yeah, exactly. I must admit, I tuned into it when Tom Lewis was something like 5 under through 6 holes, and looking like he might have a chance, but came up a few short. But another good week. I think tied second.
Yeah, really good. I mean, he's close on top 50 as well. Yeah. So that's a huge win for him. He's won, is it Portuguese Masters a couple of times? Has been his.
Portuguese Open, a couple of times. And then he actually won the, I think it was the Corn Ferry Tour Championship. So like more or less the web.com or whatever it is, Corn Ferry now. At the end of last year, sort of November, December last year, which sort of got him the PGA Tour card. And he's gone on from there, really. Yeah.
No, he was looking good, and it seemed to evaporate a little bit with the putter on 16 and 17. He just got, I think, a little giddy on a couple of them, and maybe just trying a bit too hard to kind of ram it in the back of the hole. But it was a good showing from the Brits, wasn't it? Because you had Tom Lewis, who I was really tempted to fire a bit of cash in with about 6 or 7 holes to play. You could still get some stupid odds on it. And then and Matt Fitzpatrick as well. I'm not sure whether, I don't know whether that's going to be a bit long for him at the PGA. Fitzpatrick, I mean, I was sort of selecting my team for the gambling thing earlier this week, and sort of just about held back on him, but he's so deadly.
I mean, it's quite, I guess moving on to this week, it's going to be quite hard to look by the likes of Koepka, Thomas, DeChambeau.
The thing about Brooks is that we're all writing him off because he's had a bit of a shock in 6 months. I mean, granted, there's not been a lot of golf in 6 months, but he's had a bit of some time off from good golf. But we seem to forget that he's never played good PGA golf. He just turns up on majors and wins them.
No, it's very, if he's up for it, he's up for it. That's pretty much how he does things, isn't it? So, no, he's warmed up nicely for this week. So, yeah, I think he'll be there or thereabouts. Same with quite a few others. I mean, be interesting to see if the likes of Ricky can get any closer to a major win.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about it, weren't you? You were keen to see Ricky. Yeah.
Well, he's got his new coach, hasn't he?
They're wetting themselves over his putting stroke, though. Whenever Ricky's in contention, they just love his little putting stroke, don't they?
Nice stroke.
Yeah.
But in terms of the rest of the field, I mean, I'm assuming Tom Lewis is into next week.
He's in. Yeah, he is, definitely.
Yeah. Might be a bit long for Fitzpatrick, but really, obviously Westwood's not travelling. Pepperell's not travelling. Padraig not travelling.
Well, we've got a couple of bit of controversy to start getting into here, haven't we? There's 2 bits that are on my agenda for some fairly meaty discussion. One of them, Hero Open, withdrawal around the Forest of Arden, Eddie Pepperell. I think that is item 1, and I want to table that firmly for a good level of discussion. Second one was Antgate, which I thought was just unbelievable stuff as well. Cal, you broke the news to us on the group that Pepperell had withdrawn. This is after he sent his putter for a swim the week before up at Close House. He was also coming into this event on the back of 2 disqualifications in his last 6 events.
I mean, it sounds like round 1 Thursday. I think he was +4, +5. Not a great start. So he came out Friday morning thinking, right, I think the cut was something going to be something like 1-2 under. So he needs something solid. And yeah, go to check on the leaderboard first thing. Withdraw, which I'm not sure why. There was nothing.
There was
no
nothing
real
printed.
explanation.
There was absolutely nothing printed about it.
He said nothing. Nothing in the news either. So I don't know. It's just whether he's thought I'm not. Whether he wasn't up for it. I'm not sure, but he's gone home anyway.
What is the deal at the moment? Do you think? Just on Eddie, just generally, I think it's probably unfair to, just speculate. But the guy's 29 years of age. 18 months ago, 2 years ago, he was right up there in contention, wasn't he, for the players?
Yeah.
It looked like it was in the ascendancy, and he seems to have. I don't know what's going on, but
he's gone. He's looking in good shape. To be fair to him,
he's lost weight. Yeah, we'll give that to him.
All the way during lockdown, looks good. Swing was looking good, even last week. But and he put some good rounds together. Despite the putter going in the lake, I think putting was obviously an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to be too hard on the guy because it's he's performing under the highest pressure there is really in the game, trying to make a professional golf. But there's just so much stuff seems to follow him around, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months. You'd have thought lockdown would have...
it's a case
What was he? Ran out of golf balls, didn't he, in Turkey or something? And there's another disqualification where he signed his card wrong. Throws the putter in the lake. You're kind of like, okay, 1 or 2. You're like, okay, bad couple of weeks. Maybe there's some stuff going on there. I don't know. Just seems to have completely lost the plot in my eye. Maybe I'm probably being far too harsh on the guy, but...
No, well, I don't know. It's I don't know. It seems that maybe give the social media stuff a break and.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He just seems like he's become.
Must be a big distraction.
Caricature.
I know he started a podcast as well, isn't he?
Well, he just seems to be like every time you see him in any sort of media, it's all kind of jovial. Look how stupid I was. I signed the wrong card. Ha ha ha. See how I can get myself disqualified. Gonna chuck my putter in the lake. It's just all a bit like he's just playing up to a character now, and I don't know why. Because he's a quality golfer. It's just like,
yeah, good lad, good golfer.
It is,
but hopefully he can start pushing on a bit. So I'm not sure if he's playing this week. I know.
No, he's pulled out. It's not travelling. He'd have to be out there anyway.
I know he wasn't doing. I know he wasn't travelling for the PGA, but I think the European Tour is still carrying on to something like the English Open at Hanbury Manor, or so I don't know if he's going to give that a go instead. But
I don't know. I hope he all gets right. The thing is, he's a great character. He's a really good character, and like you say, he's hilarious. And there's so much value he adds beyond. He creates a. He's not a kind of faceless tour pro. He really does bring himself, and that's awesome. But just some of the stuff, it doesn't fly on a monthly medal, does it? Chucking your putter in a lake, it shouldn't fly out there, and particularly when you're doing it repeatedly. Anyway, I feel like I've lambasted Eddie Pepperell enough. I think my views are well documented. But we'd be very keen to understand what actually went on, and maybe there was a legitimate reason for.
It'd be good to see him. Good to see him up there again, which hopefully is not far away.
Similar, on a similar level with the withdrawals, you've got last week. Andrew Johnson obviously withdrew. Beef has got a well-documented past with, and quite open about his mental health. And I think maybe Pepperell's suffering from the same thing of being in that bubble where it's, being just locked in a hotel room. You play golf and then you're in your hotel room for a week. I got to be honest, it's a big commitment. And if you're locked, if you have to do it because that's how you're going to earn your money, then you've got to do it, haven't you? But if you've got a choice, I don't think I'd be choosing it to be locked in my hotel room for a week.
No,
really.
At the same time, you've the only fallback for a lot of these guys is, and probably why Beef was thinking it too, is that all the guys' cards are guaranteed for this year, because it's obviously a lot of tournaments are being cancelled or postponed, rescheduled, what have you. Then and I think they've pretty much sacked off Tour School as well. So basically, everyone's got their cards for next year. So some people might think, actually, cards are okay for next year. Probably got enough in the bank for this year, cash-wise. Or just getting going again when we don't have to be so restricted on on movements.
Which is weird because when you consider someone like Ryan Fox, who is the commitment he's shown to play on the European tour is just insane. I mean, he's got to leave. He possibly can't go back into New Zealand for months.
Oh
on
yeah.
how
Oh, he's
they're
sort of living over here now, isn't he? Pretty much, and the South Africans as well. They are just yeah. I mean, they're hotel to hotel. So those boys, Brandon Stone and Justin Harding, yeah, they are literally living out of a hotel for sort of 6-7 weeks on this sort of UK swing.
While we're on the South Africans, you boys get the story on Brandon Grace?
No.
He was winning the Corn Ferry tournament, wasn't he? Had to
was he?
withdraw. Yeah, he got a positive COVID test.
Oh yeah,
3 days in, leading the Corn Ferry, I think, had to withdraw. Also with that, then his PGA event as well then drops as well. Harding Park this week.
Event, wasn't it? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Blimey, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, that sucks. I think they still pay them an element if you have to withdraw through a positive test, but yeah, that's a real shame for him. Just moving us on to Antgate.
No, before we do, let's.
I thought you were going to go to our sponsors here, Tom.
No, let's get a message from our sponsors. Let's not move from the European Tour because we haven't talked about Horsfield's win at the Forest of Arden, which is well documented that you love the Forest of Arden golf course.
Annoyingly, it actually looked all right as well.
Greens
looked very good.
It looked pretty good. It was worthy of, maybe we go and have a round there.
Yeah, it did. It actually looked good. Annoyingly good for three golfers in the Midlands who highly rate our own course and can't stand corporate hotel golf courses. It actually
all credit,
good.
yeah. It did look...
yeah, sorry, I didn't give it its full title, the Marriott Forest of Arden, which you think makes it sound even worse.
No, even Radar and all the guys, they're all tuned into a bit of the coverage on Thursday and during round one, and the Sky guys were loving it. So, and I must say, it did look quite good. So they did a great job, you know.
And it was a good tournament. Højgaard, everyone, your favourites.
Oh, what a swing! Bloody hell!
He's going to come out. He's gonna get a card at some point for the PGA. He's gonna go across to an event in the US, and he is just going to explode because he's so young. Like he hasn't done what a lot of these young Europeans do, where they go and do some college golf and they get their entry into America like that. This guy's just like 19, swinging a bat like no one swings a bat. He's just going to go out there and explode at some point.
Yeah, they were looking good, weren't they? I mean, one of our pals, Richie Ramsey, did nice, didn't he? It was a solid week, didn't? Robert Rock was up there. It was all round a good event, and that's Sam Horsfield. I thought he would have been still out in America. I didn't know he was playing in this UK swing because he's stationed out in Orlando, I think. I thought he'd been out on Corn Ferry stuff, but good win, very good win for him. He's big talent. He will kick on to bigger and bigger things.
Probably in a position now. I'd imagine that'll boost his rankings a little bit more, and he's probably got the choice now. If he can he'll have at least a good enough ranking to get onto the Corn Ferry stuff, and probably beginning to start working his way around there, I would have thought.
Yeah, so he's picked up 24 points with that win, so that puts him into 130th world golf ranking. So
is that all?
Yeah, there's not that. They're not playing for many, are they? If I go into, I don't know, I mean, if I look at Justin Thomas, for example, I'm not sure how many points he's picked up for the win there, but
yeah, I mean, comparing first place checks for the for that PGA Tour event and the European Tour event, it was almost 11 times.
Not on the points though, so 76 points for the WGC.
But cash-wise, the difference is phenomenal. Yeah,
it's
I think it was about
incomparable.
150 grand or something. It was
immeasurably different.
At least 10 times that.
It is measurably different, Tom. It's not immeasurable.
Well, put it this way. I think Bones picking up his 12% as a winner's check probably earned himself more than Sam Horsfield did for winning on the European Tour this week.
That is absolutely ludicrous when you think about it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But the Forest of Arden had that quirky hole. Did you see what Joel Showholm got up to?
With a boat on the little island, and
there's a water feature, and in the middle of this water feature, there's a hazard, and then in the middle of this hazard, there's an island that your ball can stop in. So he's had an approach that's obviously gone and landed on this island. So there's a little boat that you can get on to row yourself across to this island. And he rows across, got to take down all the hoardings and all the advertising. It's quite funny, actually. Quite good
He
from
made a
him.
bogey, didn't
Yeah, made a bogey.
he?
Well, you don't like that?
I immediately retract all comments made about the Forest of Arden.
That was the only quirky thing which I was looking at and going, yeah, that doesn't look quite right.
That's not
Oh,
the
no,
ticket.
no. I mean, what
It's
are you
quite
going to tell me?
funny, but imagine having to do that in the monthly medal.
Yeah, it's not
Just
good.
tying a few things together we've talked about before. About the Oxfordshire's got something similar, except their island you can't get to. So there's an island in the middle of this. It's like par. It's probably the 7th or 8th.
You're sort of swimming at your own risk type of thing.
You can swim across, but the island is quite flat and fairly big. But it's got hundreds of golf balls on it. You can just see them all there. Everyone's obviously sprayed it out there, but you have to swim if you want to play it.
Post-war golf course architecture for you, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Now, can we talk about ants, please?
We can talk about ants now, yeah. Tell me about ants. I don't know about ants.
Did you boys see it or not? Yes or no?
So I saw the clip, but I didn't really get the full story as to what he was referring to and whatever else.
Let's put it this way. If he was in the middle of the fairway, there would have been no ants.
Yeah.
The ball was sat in a scruffy lie underneath the trees wasn't a great lie.
This is Kepka. Isn't it?
No. This is Bryson.
It's Bryson. I thought it was Kepka. I saw one of Kepka, but was he taking?
Oh, we'll
piss?
come to that. Yeah. So that was just full take. Yeah,
Right.
Brooks doesn't have that in the locker. He's a straight shooter, Cal. Come on. So
No, so I've seen the clip where Kepka must have been taking the piss out of Bryson.
yeah, he was. So Bryson's got this real scruffy lie, absolutely minging. Well, it wasn't even that minging. It wasn't the worst lie, but it wasn't the best. And he's pulled over a rule official and sort of said, look, there's fire ants here. So I think the argument was that the fire ants had dug and created an impression that the ball was sat in, which would have been somewhat more believable if fire ants also carried the logs around that the ball was resting against and other things like that. And the fire ants, of which there was one, was about a yard behind. So he was like, there you go, there's an ant there. It was
Let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story. I think his argument was, this doesn't make it any better, but it was dangerous to play it because of the fire ants. It was a dangerous play as opposed to they were burrowing
an animal scraping. Okay, so it was dangerous because the fire ants were there seeking relief, and he was in good 3-ball. I think who was in his? It was in that like feature group stuff with Rory. I think was in his groups.
Or someone like that.
They must have been like teapotting from the middle of the fairway, looking across, going.
But they've called the referee across, and he's gone like, so there's fire ants around here, and the referee's like bent over double, like staring at the floor.
It's a rules official, Tom, not a referee. I don't know what planet you're on here.
The soccer referee. And he's staring at the ground. He's going, I can't see any of these. He's like, there it is. It's running across there, and it's just honestly desperately trying to convince this rules official that there's this fire ant running around. I mean,
so the video I saw was Kepka in the trees, and he's sort of his caddy's come over, checked it all out, got the club out, comfortable on the club selection, everything else. And then he just goes, "Oh no," and his caddy just goes, "What?" And they both sort of get down, sort of slightly squatting over the board. Just goes, "There's an ant."
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They both have a little giggle.
Bit of mid dipping chat. Very good.
Yeah, exactly.
But poor form. Joking aside, pretty shoddy form. That.
Yeah, strange one.
We're going to draw a line under this and call it what it is. Is it just out and out cheating?
I wouldn't say it's out and out cheating, but it's it doesn't seem to be in the spirit of the game, does it? I mean,
if you are trying to improve your lie, it's cheating, isn't it?
Well, he had that rules conversation, didn't he, at the previous event, when he was sort of OB and he was referencing back to Mickelson at, I can't remember where it was, Bay Hill or another event, it might have been Colonial, and it was it just looked like kind of trying to manipulate the rules officials into giving him something that probably in the cold light of day shouldn't have. So, but there we are. He doesn't seem to do much to endear himself to the public when you put him on camera, but everybody who spends time with Bryson says that he's an absolute standout guy, but he just doesn't help himself.
No.
We haven't actually talked on pod about his tin cup brain explosion, where the week before, where he was in the woods and he was trying to sling a hook around, and he'd had like 4 attempts at it and going OB every time, just dropped a ball OB and didn't chop it back out to the fairway. Just kept on trying to sling.
10, didn't he? I mean, I don't know. That was just another. That was part of it. In fact, that was part of that rules debate. I think where he ended up with 10, and then sort of had to sort of count them back. God knows, it's hard because what the guy's done requires talent, dedication, huge amount of commitment to do that, and he's a hell of a skillful golfer, and by all accounts, a really nice guy. I just don't understand how. I mean, maybe for Christmas we should all do a little whip round and get him a good publicist, and maybe that was.
He's going to need one.
He talks about his brand, but I mean, I just get a publicist. You've got enough cash now. Get someone on just to sort of give you a bit of mentoring, stop you doing these complete brain fade moments where, and maybe over time people will actually really like him. But at the moment, he just makes it so hard to root for the guy.
Well, it's interesting because I think it comes in 2 camps. You've got half of these sort of golf, everyone who commentates on Sky or CBS or whatever, the golf channel, they're all ex-pros and they've all got this sort of ideal where you can't really be fit. You just got to walk onto the golf course and have a beautiful God-given swing. And I think half of the people don't like what he represents because it's change and it's progressment in the game. And then you've got like half the people are like, yeah, that's cool. Just embrace it. Let's go forward. I wonder whether if it was Rory McIlroy who has this obviously this God-given talent and he's an incredible golfer, but he's got such a great aura around him. Whether if Rory decided to go, okay, I'm going to go sort of this one plane swing, going to cut all my clubs the same length, I'm going to get super jacked. Whether we'd all be like, oh God, that's amazing. Let's all do what he's doing because that's Rory and Rory's the man. And actually,
I think it's a great point. It's probably one of the best points you've ever made on the pod. I know it's not. There's not many to pick from, but I think it is a good point rather. Yeah, I mean, if Rory found 20 yards, people would be going. I mean, they'd be wetting their knickers, wouldn't they? They'd be so excited about it.
I think they'd be doing something with the ball the following week, wouldn't they? If that happened. So what's moving on to the PGA? Who do you fancy this week? San Francisco, aren't we?
So, Harding Park, San Francisco, back from the dead as a golf course.
Back onto the West Coast for the first time in 20 years for the PGA.
Which means lots of late nights staying up watching it.
So are they the full 8 hours or something like that?
Yeah, it's a full 8, isn't it? I don't know, it'd be a good tournament. I mean, you just watch the way the world number 1 stuff is changing hands these days. It's so quick and fast. I mean, that top 10, you can't squeeze a cigarette paper between them, can you? So, I don't know. You'd have to argue it's got to be a longer hitter. It's a pretty long course. There's probably no more than about 5 yards of fairway on the par 4s and 5s. The rough's absolutely brutal. So you've got to be one of the best drivers.
So it sounds like it's almost US Open setup as well.
Yeah, that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
That's what they're going for these days. I was quite keen on Tyrrell Hatton, to be fair. I think he's coming in with so much form. This year, strokes gained total, he is the number 1 player out there. So, and I'd also really like to see him do it. So I'm going to put a stick in the ground. I'm not going to go obvious top 10s and start saying, Brooks or Bryson. Clearly these guys are right up in the mix, aren't they? But slightly cheeky left field bet, maybe Hatton. I don't know what you boys are looking at.
Yeah, I'm following that similar sort of form. You sort of bring in probably Morikawa or Daniel Berger, both on great form. I know Berger was up there again this week.
Another great week.
He's got to be worth an each way bet, hasn't he?
Got to be.
I mean, you're going to get some better odds.
Ugly swing, but
it works. And it's just his record for the last 12 months is just pretty outrageous. He just seems to be constantly in the 60s. And good competitor. You'd like to think he's probably going to come out somewhere around 30 to 1, something like that.
Got to be at least
40.
He got that win using the TaylorMade Spider putter. Not sponsored by TaylorMade.
Shout out to Trotty. Tom, who's your pick?
Well, I like Ricky. I think at some point it's got to happen for Ricky, and he's obviously He's had a big change in swing. Really, he's gone with his
35-1, Daniel Berger.
Okay, you heard it here first. Contact Cal for.
What's Ricky? While we're at
Ricky is.
What are we running? A Betfair shop here or something?
30-1. Ricky.
See, I like that. I mean, so Ricky has obviously changed coaches. He's dropped the Harmons, and he's with John Tillery. John Tillery is
Yeah, so Tillery is Kisner's coach and a few others. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
he's gone with Tillery, but he's getting a bit, hands a bit higher. He's getting less sort of flat plane, and I like his swing. He's got to win at some point.
He's more or less always there, isn't he? So you'd like to think matter of time.
It just feels like Tony Finau syndrome, doesn't it? It's that sort of Sunday. I don't know. He was there all week, and then really just sort of wandered in, didn't he? On Sunday, it was
a better version because I guess Fowler's got the winning record with a fair few tournaments to back it. Players, yeah.
But you mentioned about Harding Park coming back from the dead. It's got quite a strong link for us. It's quite a good course for us as the Cookie Jar Golf.
Yeah. So President's Cup is the infamous Tiger Woods shot where the Cookie Jar title actually came from. That little sort of 4-iron where Woods sort of walks after it for sort of 5-6 yards and puts his arms in the air, dips his little right hand in, sort of Cookie Jar-esque, and helps himself to a little biscuit. So I'm looking forward to it. Bigger tournament, produced good winners. In all its years, I think Players won there. Obviously, Woods, McIlroy won the match play there, I believe. So it's not going to be a slouch that turns up and wins this. But you just look at just trying to pick through names and stuff for this. The depth and talent and the field, it is just frightening, isn't it? I mean, it's
that'd be awesome.
To pick.
Yeah.
Let's pay some lip service to my man crush, though. Do you think Rory can get it done?
Not on the back of this week's performance.
I didn't actually see it. How did he get on this week?
Average.
No good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
He was like 2-3 over out through.
If there was a cut, he would have missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He's got 5 from last, I think, at the time.
You never know. It's don't need to say it really, but these guys are so good. It's only it's 2 minutes on the range for most of them. Another thought, and they're off again. So and especially for a major, they're going to be up for it. First major of the year.
And you've got and we've also got the final of the Rose Ladies Series happening as well this weekend, I believe.
Where are they?
So grand final. So they're playing Northants, which is obviously Justin Rose's home club. Then they're off to the Berkshire. Yeah. And then Wentworth. So I think they're going through cuts at various stages, but it's like a sort of a 3-day grand final.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But it's been a good event, been a good series of events.
Some great tracks.
Amazing courses they've been playing, and it's a pretty good prelude. Well, they're going up to Troon, aren't they? Then I think at the third week of August for the Women's British Open, that's still happening. So I think it's remiss not to mention it's been a really good sort of post-lockdown spell for women's golf in the UK.
Georgia Hall's been smashing it, isn't she?
Oh.
I mean, she's like a second, 2 victories, a second, and
24 British Open winner around Lytham, Solheim Cup, MBE. Yeah, seriously good.
She's proper.
Cool. And we're going to wrap it up. Cal, you've been working away in your workshop this week. I suspect this might become a regular fixture in our podcast. Can you just tell our listeners what is going on in Cal's workshop this week? Because we know you've been tinkering and fiddling away with your equipment. What's the latest project?
It usually involves the putter. Again, it just feels tee to green, playing pretty solid, but nothing's happening with the flat sticks. I've got a pretty varied selection of things, but I've actually dug out an old Scotty Cameron, basically belly putter. I used to have an old Futura from sort of 2005, 2006, which I'm going to cut. I'm going full Bryson, so I'm going to cut it down from 46 to 40 inches.
Right.
It's going to have a long arm grip, so it's full long arm technique.
So you'll have that sort of
Just-
anchored into the left.
Yeah,
To the left
to
forearm.
take out the wrist. That's the bad move. Don't want any of that on the shorter putts. So never know. It might start coming back with 27, 28 putts, which would be nice.
How many putters do you reckon you've gone through in the last 15 years? Just ballpark.
Who knows? I'll probably say it's a good 10 in the selection. Thankfully, I've also got rid of quite a few. But I don't know. I'd say in the last 10, 12 years, then who knows? Could be sort of 20, 25.
So we're taking a broom handle putter. We're going to chop it down to 40 inches. Stick an arm lock grip
17-inch super straight grip. Going to go up the leading forearm, so being my left arm. And,
see how that goes.
If it works. Yeah, see how that goes.
The thing is, though, a serious wizard never changes his wand, and nothing smacks of.
Well, they say the wand picks you, and I've sadly a wand hasn't picked me yet. I always think it's
You've not been chosen yet.
It's healthy to have rotation, isn't it? So
well, there's a strong squad, and there's some depth there that you've got to pick from, and
exactly. There's many on the bench, and
I think we'll try and make this a regular feature. What's going on in Cal's workshop this week? And
you've also got varying grips and all things. You're going for the thick grip on this one, aren't you?
Yeah, 17-inch super strike thick. It's got to be really for a putter. It's got to have the longer grip on it to make it work. So I've got the apron on under candlelight, and
is there enough weight in the head? Have you got any lead tape we need to start looking at there?
No, it's a heavy sort of broom handle belly shaft.
You need to be very careful though, because you're going to be changing the swing weight. Maybe we get Trotty back on and see what happens.
You can put a bit of weighting in the top of the grip if needs be. But no, it's fine. The swing weight would be fine.
Good. Well, we've got a couple of days links golf this week, so we're looking forward to what's going on in Cal's workshop next week, when no doubt we're fashioning a cut down 1-iron or something of similar ilk. So good.
Who knows? Putting with a 1-iron. You know.
Cool.
Rule it out.
Right. Well, we've offered up some thoughts on the PGA for this week. I'd be amazed if any of those three go on to win in true cookie jar style. Whenever we pick a player, they seem to crumble away like Mr. McVitie. But I think that is all we've got time for, isn't it, gents?
I think so. Yeah, looking forward to watching some major championship golf.
Looking forward to it. I don't know how it's going to be without the crowds, but I'm sure quality of field will carry it through. So that's it for today, guys. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do on @CookieJarGolf on all social media channels. It has been a blast. I'll catch up with you after the PGA.
You go low. Adios.
Thank you.